Hi, my name is Michelle Miller. I'm the Director of Teacher Licensure and Accreditation, and I wanted to take a minute to bring you some March 2020 updates. And before I get too far into the presentation, let me share with you the contacts that are available to you. Most of these emails are first initial, last name at KSDE.org. But especially I want to welcome bullet number 4, Stephanie Hill, to our team, as she will be starting in March as our private school accreditation program consultant. And I'm very excited to bring her on board so that we have a dedicated person to work with our private schools on their accreditation process. At any time, if you have questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out. We also have provided a general accreditation email on this slide as well for any general questions that you might have. Feel free to use those and ask your questions. We're here to help. So for the 1920 school year, system expectations, remember we talk about accreditation at this point in cycles, in 5-year cycles. So most of our systems, the majority of the 286 public and most of the private systems are in cycle 1. Later on in the presentation, you'll see some places where I'll talk about cycle 2, and those responsibilities apply to a very few systems right now. So if you are a school district that's wondering what are my responsibilities right now because I'm year 5 and I'm going in front of the ARC for my recommendation of accreditation status to the state board, what are my responsibilities? Well, here they are. Your responsibility is to complete the KESA final report inside the authenticated app, to be certain that you also have your yearly year 5 update complete. And we ask that these systems have their accreditation outside visitation team date and visit scheduled by the end of March in order for the ARC to come together in April to review your system and give them time to ask any further clarifying questions they might have before making their final recommendation. The system report should include statements of improvement that are backed up by evidence. The big question for us right now in the team when we talk to systems is, do you have a way to evidence your success or failure around your continuous improvement process? And we are always encouraging our chairs to say during the visits, as evidenced by what? As evidenced by what when they talk about their areas of, when school systems talk about their areas of improvement. Also, year 5, stay in touch with your chair so that if that report that they submit is not complete within 30 days, you can be in touch with them and say, hey, where's my report? How can I help? And then also a final responsibility would be to review that chair report, ask any clarifying questions of your chair, and be sure that you all agree on the information that is included. So if this is year 4 for you as a system, same sort of expectations apply. Be sure that you've completed your yearly update. Tell your story. Tell your school continuous improvement process story. Preferable to have your visit by the end of April. And at this point, your visit should be about the implementation of your plan and the evidence of success. Again, follow up with your chair 30 days after if the report from them about the visit has not yet been completed. Year 3 systems, your responsibility is the same. A system yearly update, don't forget to tell your story. Have your visit preferably by the end of April. And again, the focus of this visit should be on plan implementation and keeping in mind that this is a systems process and that each building within the system may be attending to the goals for improvement differently, but those should be noted and should be in line with the overall system goals. A great example is if the system chose relationships as an area of improvement and you have 15 buildings, each of those 15 buildings might be working on improving relationships with students, staff, community, business partners in different ways. You would just want to see that all of those goals lead to the overarching goal of relationships. Follow up with the chair 30 days after the visit if the report is not complete. And this visit is to ensure that the system is on track and that they can continue to monitor the data and the continuous improvement cycle over years 4 and 5. So right here is where you begin to see the difference between Cycle 2 systems and those folks that are in Cycle 1. Cycle 2 systems have already come before the state board over the course of the last 2 years and received their accreditation visit, and they're starting their second 5-year cycle. The expectations are listed for those folks. And then the second year of Cycle 1 systems have a very similar responsibility as what has been previously stated. Complete the yearly update, schedule the visit, verify that that is all in place. And on each of these cycles, note the difference in accreditation year as either 2023 or 2024. Overall system expectations, make sure you have that date for your annual visit scheduled. Every system should have a visit every year. Keep in mind the district leadership team and the building leadership team responsibilities to reviewing and analyzing the data to study the implementation success and how your expected changes are moving along, or are they? And is it time to pivot or to make change or to edit? Ensure that all staff understand their part and their participation in the evaluation of the implementation, and that they can also say, our school improvement goals are X, we've employed these strategies to move in that direction, and we have these data pieces to monitor the evaluation of our process. Again, I stated this early, but the building plans should align with your system or district plans as well. If anyone who is participating in today's webinar is either a chair or an outside visitation team member, here are your expectations. Be sure you know when your visit's scheduled. Make sure that if you are a chair, you've worked in collaboration with the superintendent to create a meaningful visit. Ask to meet with some focus groups if necessary. Those can be any number of people. Those could be a site council team. Those could be administrators. It could be teachers. It could even be students. It could also include board members. Remember that this system of accreditation was designed to meet the needs of everyone. So focus groups could look differently in different places and spaces. Again, make sure that the system staff understand the data, the goals, and the implementation. School building plans, I stated this earlier, should align with district plans, and be certain that as a chair and a member of an outside visitation team that you're working collaboratively to write that summary report that includes evidence of the system's improvement process and some great success statements for the visit that you were able to be a part of. I've started telling my folks that are chairs or visitation team members that you ask the school system to provide you an hour at the end of the day at least to complete at least an 80% draft of the on-site visit and report so that when you all get away, you can come back to it if necessary, and it's in a pretty good space when you come back to it. We've started also asking people to be certain that that chair report from the visit is submitted no later than 30 days after the visit. That's plenty of time to get that report complete. So we've started talking about with our systems this year some evaluation methods that they could employ to determine whether their continuous improvement process is on track. One of the things that we've included in our vocabulary is measuring your implementation of the improvement process. What are the specific strategies and the activities around these? And are there opportunities to see success? Look at your short-term goals in those areas and then your long-term goals, and are you on track with data pieces to help you measure those? There are long-term opportunities where you can really dive in to determine whether change happened. I would say this as well, if when you're doing any one of those review processes around the short-term or the long-term goals and you see spaces where you need to pivot to make change, you have the flexibility to do that. But give yourself plenty of time to measure and to look at the progress of something before we throw the baby out with the bathwater. It does take time to measure success on strategies and activities. Some things that are important to remember why, as a system, you would evaluate your improvement process. That's to pat yourselves on the back, give you support for the hard work that you have. It also gives you an opportunity to get better at getting better. When we know better, we do better, right? So looking at that data helps us know how we might do even better than we're already doing, and it provides that level of accountability for everyone involved in the process. This whole evaluation of your system for improvement process is part of your KESA story. So tell the story. People ask me all the time, do I tell it in bullets or do I tell it in sentences? How do I tell it? Just tell it, supported by evidence and data. I wanted to share, this is an ongoing series of Zoom meetings we have had since October. Our last and final opportunity is Tuesday, March 10th. The link is included in the PowerPoint. We've had really great success with these opportunities. We've had high numbers of people. So feel free to jump on there, ask whatever question you have, and we record these and we're doing our best to keep them archived. So if people have questions, they can go back and ask those as well. Here are the dates for the review council to meet. They're coming back together on April 22nd. They'll come back again April 29th, June 9th and 10th as they wrap up and make their final recommendations to the state board. This is a hard-working, committed group of people who do truly understand that this process has grown and developed over time. They are also very much aware of its differentiated nature as it relates to large systems, small systems, and all of the variations that Kansas provides. Again, I'll leave you with the exact emails of the members of our team. And as I started at the beginning to say, if you ever have questions, please reach out to any one of us, and we are more than happy to help out and do what we can to be your guide during this process. Thank you so much.